Canadian country artists Antonio Larosa and Taylor-Rae have just dropped a new duet called Hearts Don't Break, so I'm happy to be joined by Antonio and Taylor to talk about the new single. Guys, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. So two Canadian songwriters working in Nashville. Antonio, you're still in Vancouver right now, but how did you guys kind of meet up and link up to create this track?
Taylor lived in Vancouver for a little bit, and that's where I'm from. And we kind of met through the BC Country Music Association. And I saw Taylor perform at the awards one year, and I was just blown away by her voice and her stage presence and her songs. I think the first time that we sang together was after the show. I asked Taylor if she wanted to sing Islands in the Stream with me at the karaoke bar, the after party. And she was like, yeah, sure. And we did it, and it just was really awesome. And I was like, wow, I would love to sing a song with Taylor. This is great. And we always kind of chatted about writing one. And then earlier in the year, right, Taylor, I asked you if you wanted to go on tour maybe and do some shows together.
Yeah. I know when I got the call from Antonio, he's like, do you want to do a couple shows in Alberta, which is where I'm from? So I'm always happy to get back there. And so we ended up writing this song to go on tour, and we played it just acoustically at a couple shows, and it was almost like the rest of our set didn't happen. We played 60 other minutes, but all people were talking about was this duet. So we kind of were like, all right, well, that's probably the sign to get in the studio and record it.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's dig into the song a little bit. Obviously, it's already been, you've already performed it live, so it's almost backwards, but that's cool that it came together this way. But the harmonies between you two on the recorded track sounds so natural and it's beautiful. So I can see why the crowds were really buzzing about it. I guess the song itself, it speaks to really kind of a gut-wrenching moment at the end of a relationship, right? So how did the premise of the actual song come to be?
Yeah, was it you, Antonio, that had that title?
Yeah, I think my work tape with it was, I was listening to a few different songs, and I was like, it'd be great to write a song that is about like at the end of a relationship. And actually a good inspiration for that was the song by Chris Stapleton called Either Way. I was really in love with that tune, and I was like, wow, there's such a different angle for a love song, which is about like, we're together, but this is kind of ending, right? So I kind of really was inspired by that, and just that idea came together. But I think my work tape is mostly just a bit of some chords and some melody.
Yeah, but it came together super naturally in the room. I mean, I personally was kind of in the middle of going through exactly what we were writing about. So it was like the craziest timing. And it was like, we just kind of all, Dave Borys, who's also a writer on this, kind of just flew off of each other. And the song came together really quickly, which was awesome. I love when sometimes songs are tough and you get in the room and you're on hour 3 and you're going, oh no, is this going to come together? And this song really was like a couple hours, and it was just kind of exactly what it is now, which was pretty cool.
You guys mentioned that you performed it live. So when was it written? When did you sit down and put it together? Was it
we wrote it in January of this year, I believe it was, right, Taylor? I think it was January.
I can't remember. January, start of February. Yeah,
because we went on tour February 20th to 23rd, I think it was. And and we were just like, we wanted to do something together at those shows, and we've always talked about writing a song together. So we kind of were like, okay, well, instead of us doing it, let's try and write it too. Let's see if we can come up with something. It was great.
Yeah, you both kind of touched on it, but what do you admire about each other, and individually, what did each of you bring to the track? So I'll start with you, Taylor. Talk to me about Antonio. Maybe Antonio, if you want to go leave the room for a minute. No, but Taylor, what does Antonio bring to the track, and what do you admire about him?
Yeah, with Antonio, I mean, the first time I ever saw him play, I think was at the Roxy when he was in the Breakthrough Project, right? And I remember watching him just going, holy smokes, this guy can sing. And for me, I was just thinking, holy, like, there's no way this guy's not one of the top vocalists. Like, if you see him live, you'll just know exactly what I'm talking about. And he played some guitar on the track as well, which was pretty cool. So it was, honestly, I think him and I, in a lot of ways, kind of go into similar lanes vocally and try and try and kind of like do certain things with our voices, and I really liked his instinct as far as like runs and stuff like that goes. So it's definitely been, I've been a fan of him for a very long time, and so when I did get the call about doing a couple shows together and then getting into this song, it was, I mean, I didn't even hesitate. It was awesome.
So now, Taylor, if you want to leave the room, we'll throw it over to Antonio to talk more about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a similar situation. Like I said, you know, I saw Taylor sing. I think so. I forgot that I met you at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably 2018, 2019. I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd met Taylor at the awards, and I saw her sing her song, and yeah, like I was just like blown away. I'm like, hey, she can sing. And like just knew right away, I'm like, okay, that, you know, she can hold her own and she can sing. And then after we did that duet at the awards, I was just like, okay, this is legit, you know. And now, you know, working together and the few shows that we've been a part of beyond that, you know, Taylor's got such a great work ethic, and she's very driven. You're very smart with this business, and it's been like a huge thing to have for this song. And I've been learning so much just doing this tune with Taylor. So beyond her talent and her songwriting skills, you know, there's another side too that people don't realize, and Taylor's got that really down.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah.
So nice.
It's the truth.
Making music is a collaborative process, but in terms of songwriting, you know, you guys are sharing this with this duet. So have you worked in this kind of collaborative way in the past?
And I do a lot of co-writes, but I've never written in a way to like perform with somebody else. I've always kind of just stuck to my own thing. But I don't know about you, Antonio.
No, that's the same thing. That's exactly what I was going to say. I've never been in the room with the person I'm going to be singing the song with. It's always been like, oh, I'm singing this.
So that being said, with Hearts Don't Break, you know, there's definitely some undeniable musical chemistry between the two of you when you listen to it. But do you feel, you know, with this specifically, with both of you, do you feel that this is just scratching the surface? Could there be a bigger project with the two of you, or future collaborations?
Well, we have been talking about writing together again for sure, because that's something that we like, that really came together well. I think we're going to leave that one open-ended, because we're just going to play it by ear. I mean, I know we both have solo projects going on right now, but you never know. You never know what you do in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it was super easy to write that song. I feel like it kind of just, sometimes when you're writing songs and you can kind of just hone in on what the actual thing, I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes when you have a really general idea and you know where it's going to be and you know what you want out of that tune, sometimes it makes it really easy to write. And that was a really easy writing process. I thought it was, you know, I mean, it could just be a fluke.
Well, no pressure, guys. You know, I was just gonna throw that out there and see where it went, right? But Hearts Don't Break, you know, it joins a long list of duets that have been recorded in any genre. But what are some of your favorite duets, both of you, that you might have been channeling, I guess, when creating this tune?
I mean, I'm such a fan of so many. I would say like Remind Me, Brad Paisley, Carrie Underwood. Picture by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow, like any of those like really kind of prominent duets kind of back in the day. I feel like this song kind of has a lot pulled into it from more of a, not traditional, but more of like a 90s feel kind of mixed with like the modern country. So I feel like I love how we did that.
Yeah, I actually Picture was one of the ones I was actually thinking about too. And then I kind of listened to, I think there was the Carrie Underwood and Cody Johnson one. That was you sent that over to me, Taylor, and then I was kind of like, oh, that's a really good reference too for just hearing how voices blend. And you know what's crazy is that like that's something I also noticed when we sang that duet when everybody was half drunk anyway. I was like, oh, okay, our voices are actually blending really well. And I feel like that's such a good thing to take with you when you're trying to make a duet. I feel like is when you can hear that blend and that kind of, you know, it just really hits you right in the heart. The voices really mix together well.
And you touched on this, Taylor, do you guys feel that this song, and I definitely heard it when I listened to it, but do you feel that this song kind of bridges that gap, how you mentioned that kind of that classic country kind of foundation, but mixed with that kind of modern Nashville flair kind of thing? Do you feel that Were you going for that approach with this song?
I think so, because Antonio and I mean, we have such different musical tendencies, and so I think bringing those two together, you naturally get pull from more like Antonio has that kind of rootsier, bluesy feel, and then I definitely sit in more of a modern, soulful spot. And so I think mixing those together, it made sense that was kind of the outcome, because we didn't want to kind of erase what each other's strengths are.
Yeah, and I find that you listen to the song and I just feel like it's so palatable for so many different audiences too. I feel like, it is a country song, but it just feels so timeless to me when I listen to it. I feel like, it could be on so many different stations, and, it's really great.
Timeless. That word was sticking in my head after listening to it as well. That's a good way to describe this. This is a song that it could be played, later this afternoon or 20 years from now and still be relevant, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So besides this new track, what's coming up for both of you individually with your careers and with the end of the year and 2026 coming up? So what's going on with you guys?
Just chipping away, writing, recording, playing shows, kind of doing the same old thing. Continuing working on some songs, and just the life of a songwriter musician, chipping away. Right now, my main focus is this wonderful tune. So, that's kind of where my head's at right now. So it's kind of hard to think ahead. But, just kind of doing all those things, basically.
Yeah, chipping away is a good word for what we do. The ball never stops rolling, right? But I'll be recording some new music coming up here, and just been writing a lot for the new project. So just keep doing everything. It's funny, you release a song and you're in the midst of planning all these different things, right? So yeah, it's great. But I think we both have quite a bit coming up on the solo front too, which is exciting. So I'll be excited to hear what Antonio has.
Yeah.
Right on. Antonio and Taylor, thank you so much for taking time with us. Really excited to keep listening to Hearts Don't Break. And if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely get online and stream it and listen to it. So Antonio, Taylor, thank you so much for taking time with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.